Welcome back to the workbench. Today I'm taking a look at this, the Hobbyboss IJN I-400 in 1:700 scale. Join me as I take a look inside the box and find out what's included. Hi, I'm Matt and you're watching Model Minutes. So today's video is a quick look inside the box of the Imperial Japanese I-400 Submarine in 1:700 scale. So on the front here we've got a fairly attractive, well-drawn image of the submarine which has surfaced and has deployed its aircraft, which is housed on the deck of the submarine. You'll notice that it does have multilingual information here which appeals to different markets around the world. Over here we've got dimensions, and down here in the bottom left hand corner it indicates that this is only suitable for those aged 14 and over. This edge of the box features a finished image of the model kit, which as you can see comes with a display base. A little information about the actual IJN I-400. Feel free to pause that and have a read if you'd like. And then over here we've got some more multilingual information. Flip over onto the other edge of the box and we've got some more finished pictures of the model kit, and it looks quite attractive. Moving on, we've got some other information here which unfortunately I'm not able to read, and then down here bottom left, made in China. The edges of the box are just a continuation of the front artwork and don't actually feature an image of the model, but if we flip over to the back, and here are the assembly instructions. At the top we've got a sprue map, which is quite handy, and it also gives you an indication of what's going to be inside the box without opening it. And then as we move down the box we have the assembly instructions. So here we're building the conning tower, installing the various small parts including the armament. This is the assembly of the aircraft, as you can see not particularly complicated. Some small details are added to the upper surfaces of the submarine. The hull of the boat has the control surfaces and propellers added. And then at the bottom here we just bring all of the final parts together and complete the display stand. So there's only really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, so it shouldn't be a particularly difficult build. And down here it indicates that they've used Mr. Colour paints, which unfortunately I don't have, and it also says here that you may not be able to get them in your country, so you'll have to provide a substitute paint, which is absolutely fine. That shouldn't be an issue to me. So let's get inside the box and find out what's in there. It's pretty much told us exactly what's inside the box on the outside. So as normal, I like to take a look at the paperwork first, and we've got a nice glossy colour painting instruction sheet. Again, Mr. Colour paints are recommended here, but as you can see all I need to do is pretty much match up the right kind of paint. So for example I might use this sort of red here for the hull. I'll find a different grey which would be more suitable, and I could potentially use something like this for the top surfaces. Down here at the bottom we've got a green for the aircraft, and something like a Humble 30 might be suitable for that. And it also helps that it tells you where the decals are going to be placed. It doesn't seem that there are very many. Mostly they're going to be on the aircraft, and there's only a couple on the side of the actual submarine. Let's take a look inside the bag of bits and see what they are like. Let's see what the mould quality is like. He says, not being able to open the bag. So everything comes contained in one bag, and loose in that main bag are the main hull components. So let's take a look at this. It's quite hard plastic, it doesn't have much flex in it. It's very smooth, so just be aware of that when you come to paint it. It might need a primer. It doesn't feel particularly greasy, and it seems to be quite simply moulded. There's a little bit of detail on the front there where the torpedo tubes, I presume, are. And then on the inside here we've got an identifying marker of what the actual piece is. Looking at the top deck, and we've got some very nicely moulded details on there. I can't speak for the accuracy of the kit because submarines are not really my thing. I don't really know much about them, so if you do know and you think this is accurate or not, make sure you let me know in the comments below. But it looks quite nicely detailed to me. We've got the catapult launch system for the aircraft here, and we've also got a moulded representation of the wooden planks that were used on the top of the vessel. So those are those two bits. In another plastic bag we get a display stand, so let's get that out. This display stand comes moulded in black plastic, and as you can see it already has printed on it in a nice silver lettering the name of the vessel and the scale that it is. So when you come to display this, you've already got that done and you don't have to worry about it. So all I need to do is just slot this part, just slot it on top. Oh, I'm missing the bits on the end there, but it just pops on the top like that, not a problem. That's quite a nice addition. You don't normally get those sort of things in kits that I've seen. In your last bag of bits is your last sprue. Let's get that one out. And this holds all of the other bits. Let's take a look at these. So these are quite finely moulded. There doesn't really seem to be any flash present on it. Even the propeller there, you can see that, that's absolutely tiny. That's absolutely minuscule, but it seems to be pretty well done. The aircraft has got some representation of control surfaces on it and cockpit sort of canopy glass on there. Flip over, let's have a look on the bottom. Yeah, generally it looks to be quite good. Again, because it's such a small scale kit, I can't really speak for the accuracy of the parts, because in such a small scale a handrail could end up being like 2 feet in diameter rather than the inch or so that it actually is. But this looks to be quite well done, and it doesn't actually look like it will be too difficult. This would be suitable, in my opinion, for someone who's a beginner. Now there's one thing I've forgotten to take a look at, and it's the decals. They also come in their own little bag, so let's get them out and take a look. I mean, from what I've seen of Hobbyboss, they do tend to package their kits very well, but it is a little bit frustrating because now I've got all of this stuff that needs to be recycled. So the first thing that I've noticed is that you can see there's a fold in the paper. Hopefully that hasn't affected the decals on the inside, but it could potentially lead to them being torn. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that when we come to apply them. And you'll notice that the paper, the protective paper, has been taped all the way over the decal sheet. So I'm going to have to cut that out. I'm going to cut it open without damaging it. Easier said than done. Right, hopefully I haven't broken any of the decals by doing that, he says, and then realises he hasn't actually cut the paper. Right. Let's just move that bit out of the way. So there we go. So the fold here, as you can see, potentially, so the fold here has narrowly missed these decals, and they are fairly simple. There's not really that much to them. They are in essence just a few little white words here which are difficult to read, and some red dots and lines. So not too bad, but I guess I'll have to see what they're actually like and if they've actually survived this folding and cutting process when I come to apply them to the model. So let's just recap what we get. A fair set of decals. 1, 2, 3, 4 plastic main components, I guess. You get one sprue with all of it on, and you get 3 bits which are loose. The display stand comes pre-molded in black plastic, which is quite nice. I'm probably not going to bother putting them back in their bags now because I'll just recycle that. We'll get it all back in the main bag and then we'll put it back in the box. And if I'm honest, the box does seem a bit big for the amount of parts that we actually have. I feel like they could have got away with a smaller box here, but I guess they must have some sort of standard box size that they use, and this just saves on costs, I guess. So the Hobbyboss Imperial Japanese I-400. It looks to be quite a nice kit. It looks like it won't be too difficult to do. The painting should be quite simple because there's only really about 3 or 4 different colours that you're going to need. Decals, I do have my concerns because they've been folded and taped and all that jazz, but hopefully they'll go on okay and I won't have any issues. This kit currently in the UK retails for between £4 and £10. There seems to be a big wide difference, but if you remember, this was actually given to me as part of my Christmas gifts this year. Originally this kit dates back to 2008, and since then all that's happened is that we've got this new box and that's it. So if you'd like to see me build this kit, make sure you put a comment down below so that I know. And the last thing I need to do before I go is honourable mention to my patrons. The help you give my channel is completely invaluable, and I wouldn't be able to continue making videos without the support that you give me. So a massive thank you to you. To find out more about what pledging your support means and how to become a patron, take a look at the link in the description. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the workbench again next time.